Hi guys, how are you? Vladimir here, and this is the weekly Forex review for the week starting 23rd of July 2017. This is the first time I do the video like that, a new camera I bought, so I thought it would be cool if you can watch me while I'm making you this video. So you are with me for the whole process. I hope you enjoy that. And this is my way to stay connected with you, and I hope you like it. I like it, and I hope it will be great. So let's start. This week we have a lot of great opportunities. Many pairs still with the same idea around the dollar, like we discussed in the previous week. A lot of wonderful setups forming, which is just very important to say. We have to use some patience here because there are a lot of setups that are forming, but simply they are not ready yet, and that's kind of the conditions on the market when you think it's ready, but it's not ready. It's like you are trying to press the gas button when you're stuck in the traffic. You know it's not gonna help, right? So timing is everything in such conditions. And I want to cover that. Okay, I want to discuss all these charts and explain why exactly timing is so important. So let's start with the euro dollar. Euro dollar was one of our main charts on the previous week, and let's go over the cycles here. The euro dollar has this beautiful. I post my line here. Okay, that's the euro dollar we have for us, right? So this is the first one. This still forming the big one, which is kind of splitted by itself. You see that? Now there is no divergence completed yet, but there is one forming. RSI is coming to its extreme as well, and you can see clearly euro dollar is coming to the top of the weekly range, which we can find right here. Now we are, you see that? This is exactly the place where I expect the euro dollar to top and start its correction. After that, most likely we are going to see it going to above 120, but until then, short-term sales. Now how and why at all we look for sales? So we are on top of the range, end of a cycle forming on the current big wave, big leg on the daily chart we have, and the divergences, they are, well, everywhere, and that's what gives us the understanding that the bulls are running out of energies, right? Out of fuel. So looking on the 4-hour chart, we can see that this cycle has for us the classical level of the 161.8, and that's anything around 117 and higher. So once we get there, this is our time to look for sales. Now take a look. This is a weekly range, but daily cycles involved, 4-hour cycles, 4-hour chart cycles involved. So the 1-hour chart cycle could actually bring us the setup. Now we don't have a false break here yet, a valid false break, but we are on that area, and what we need to see now, that's actually, this is the setup. 1, 2, okay, one false break, lower lows, retrace, and sell. This is option number 1, and option number 2 is to start and get 3 cycles down on the short term. It could be intraday, but what we need is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and that would be the breakout for us, and we are going for sales here. So we are on the zone. Wait for the setup, because you don't want to try and try again and try again and try again, and then why doesn't it work? So that's the thing about such setups. When it's weekly and daily cycles and they are forming, they are running out of steam, that this is exactly the place to use the patience, and don't force things to happen. Now I've been asked a lot, like, Vlad, but 1-hour chart has an amazing divergence. Why it doesn't work? Simply because we are talking about weekly and daily chart. If they are not ready, who cares about the 1-hour chart? 1-hour chart would work when a daily and the weekly are ready. Make sense? But if weekly not ready yet and daily is not there yet, how 1-hour chart would work? It doesn't make sense, right? So that's why I said the importance of the patience here. Now, if we take a look on a crystal ball, what we can see is we are also running an amazing zone, and the next one is not far. That's exactly the same 117 plus. Now, that's the dates, 28 and the end of the month and the beginning of next month. That's where we can expect it to happen. So we are running there perfectly. Now, previous weekend was also very powerful dates. We have 19. 19 is a very great day. We are running out of it a bit, but we are getting ready. So anything closer to 28, which means the second part of this week and the beginning of next week, that's very likely where things start to be bearish. So for those of you who are running the longs for a while now, as we have been talking about on the weekly forecast, on the previous weekly forecast, we said that every drop down is a buy opportunity. The euro dollar is actually flying. Now, yeah, Draghi's speech previous week helped a lot, but we can't argue with the charts. It's coming to the levels right now where it's best to cash out the buys and start to get ready for sales. I don't say it now, but anything above 117, 118, as you saw in the levels, would be a great zone to get ready for sales. Don't sell blindly. This is another very common mistake traders do. It's, oh, I have a level, right? I have a level. Let's hit the button. No, it's like, well, I don't have any comparison right now, but it just doesn't make sense. You need to get a setup, right? If there is a green light, you don't press the button right away. You're looking left, you're looking right. Just make sure you can drive and it's safe. Same here. Why would you just press the button? So that's about the euro dollar. Now, pound dollar coming very, very interesting. This pair, I wanted to look for longs from previous week. And now finally we got the double cycle correction. Let me draw the lines here. Here we go, 1, 2. We have a bullish hidden divergence here. That's a very, very good setup, right, for us. And the 1 hour chart had its own divergence here. Now it looks good. It looks definitely good. And what I would prefer to see here is, as long as this low holds, very, very important, is we getting 1, 2, 3. I want to see these 3. I want to see 1, 2 from that moment. And with the breakout after that, I want to go and try the longs, try and aim the previous highs at least. Now, I said before, as long as this low holds, this is the most important thing, because if it doesn't hold, that means we are going for 2 bigger corrections before we are rising up again. But for me, the bullish plan remains on. I want to look for the longs here. Euro pound then saying around 0.89, 0.90. No clear sell setup as for now. Definitely a clear sell zone. So same story like with the euro dollar. We start to look for sells, and that could be with false breaks. So this was the first one. Okay, right here. The only problem was that there is no divergence here, and that's why I don't really like it. See that? No good. So what we want to see here is 1, 2 lower lows and seller retraces. Now another scenario that could happen here is actually triple cycle. So something like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 breakout, and we are for sales. As long as it's dancing without setup, not tradable, but definitely amazing place, and the crystal ball just support us by doing that. Take a look, everything is around the 0.90. It's dancing monster there. Now 21st, 2nd, 4th, 5th, 7th, 29, all our monsters days. Get ready for action, for a sell. Same with the pound franc, which is amazingly trading on the bottom. After making the special cycle completed here, it looks just perfect for buys, as long as this low holds, retraces, and we are after buys. Daily chart had this beautiful supportive area for us, and as long as it holds, I don't see any reason why not trying to buy here. If it breaks down, we are most likely going to the 61.8, which is just slightly lower, like here, before we are rallying, but I am already after buys as long as the bottom holds. For that to happen, I want to see triple cycle or special cycle here, the upside, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and with the breakout, go and try to buy that. The best thing to do on such setups, risk reward, because if you can find a setup with a risk reward of, let's say, 1 to 3, 1 to 4, or 1 to 5 or more, that's the best you can actually do for yourself. Even if you fail once or twice or thrice, once the move happen, you still make more and cover. Okay, so you can keep risk reward, by the way, by percentage, or by if you trade fixed lots, which is fine, then the risk reward is the how many pips you risk versus how many pips you make. Okay, because the pipsage average would be pretty much the same. Yeah, that it differs between pairs, but it balances itself for the long run. So if you trade Euro Kiwi a few times and then on the other side you trade New Zealand, and yeah, it's balancing itself for the long run. So it's everything around the same pipsage. Of course, the more trades you have, the better it is. And that's for the news for the pound franc. And as I said, if it doesn't hold this low, we are going to the next area, which should be probably around the 121 before we are running up. Next one would be, where is that? New Zealand and dollar pair that we have been talking about for a while now, and it's there, and it's coming to the top of the weekly range. And actually, what makes it so interesting beside the range is that we are next to the 61.8. You see that? That's a good one, right? Anything above 0.74, let's say, we are there. It's happening. It's right here, and it's getting extremely interesting. Now we are on the top of this range, small range on the weekly and daily. This is a band to band movement followed by a bearish divergence on daily chart. Now as you can see, it's not formed, but it's forming. And for us, as long as we don't have false breaks, we don't really trade. So currently, the last important low for us is here. It's hard to believe this low would be the one that will be respected. So I expect one more, or maybe even two more lows. So it could be something like that as well. Let's put the lines here. One, and even maybe one, maybe two. And then with lower lows. That's simple. Lower lows, seller traces. And again, it's all about the game of the risk reward. If you can get a good risk reward in such setup here, you don't care of being wrong 1, 2, 3 times, because when the move happens, oh, that's where you make your money. And we are here to try to make money. We are not here to be right as many times as possible, right? Well, at least that's my case. No one cares how many times you right, how many times you fail. That's for analysts, not for traders. That's the difference between analyst and trader, by the way. There is a great saying about that, is that the analyst will discuss tomorrow about what the trader traded today. It's very, very common and kind of true. So no short before the false breaks followed by convergence happen, or at least before we get triple wave breakout below the trend line. If that doesn't happen, no trade. If we go and check the crystal ball, take a look at the levels. Okay, that's our levels for crystal ball, and the days, end of the months, after 22nd, 26, 30, and the beginning of the month. It's coming. It's happening. Aussie dollar. Where is that? Disappeared now. Aussie dollar. Well, after some bad news from previous week, as long as the daily top holds here, the 0.18 zone, I'm with the bearish side. So for me, sells as long as this top holds. Only if we break above it, the next area to watch would be 0.80 1 or maybe slightly higher before the sells. So if we break above the 080, let it go. Most likely we're going to see that rallying towards the 081, 082 zone before we actually get into sells again. Aussie Kiwi had a massive correction for us, and now that's a bit suspicious sign. We need 2 waves down before we actually consider the buys. So I would be careful here, to be honest. We had this wave. I would expect something like that before we discuss of the buys again. Okay, so no rushes for now, just be careful. Next one, pound franc we discussed. Dollar franc coming to the area where we wanted to see that 092, 091. There you go, guys. Take a look. See that? That's 094 of this cycle. If we go for the next one of same area, that's 093. And if we go with the new one, we get 261.8. Expansion for a potential special cycle around 091, and here we also get it around. So you can see that everything around 093 and lower, buy zone, and should be pretty massive. Until then, stay bearish. Nothing really happened there. We have this trend line. As long as it holds below and doesn't close above to complete a false break, stay bearish. Dollar CAD approaching to the level where I wanted to see that. That's around 124. Slightly higher, slightly lower. Everything is acceptable with this pair here, but this is what we get, guys. It's very simple, actually. Nothing special. You see the cycle? 61.8 of it, with a bullish divergence forming on the weekly and the daily, running for a continuing divergence for straight lows. You can see it here. 1, 2, 3, and 4 to be formed. And the 261 also sits on this cycle. Full expansion to 61.8. That's where it counts. So massive. 125 and lower, around 124. Look for buys. How? False breaks and momentum will change. So we need to see this. Lower lows, higher highs, retraces, back to trend line, and buys. If we go for the crystal ball, it's there and it's screaming for us. Get ready for action. That's how it's screaming. 28 and then the beginning of next month. So again, end of this week should provide us some action, interesting action. Now let's cover a bit of the yen pairs. Dollar yen, for me, as I said not once, I would be looking only for sells. I don't have any technical explanation here, but for me it looks like we need to get second leg down of this one. 1, 2, and I would be looking for that. This is a triple cycle forming on the 4-hour chart. So for me, if this pair can create 2 waves, this is the place to look for a resell. I think that's going to be interesting. Alright, so that's for the dollar yen. Let's continue. The euro yen, also very interesting pair. And my view remains same. As long as this top holds, the massive top from the daily hold, we are after sells. And the best way to do that actually would be here. We got kind of a spatial cycle on the 1-hour chart here, which could be broken onto 15 minutes, and we got this wave down, right? So we need a rally versus this top with the breakout. We can actually go and try the sells. Now, if we break above the daily highs, we are going, let's erase these lines, we are going for some massive area. The next one, believe it or not, would be much higher. And that's why the importance of this daily high to hold. Now what could happen here is we just get another false break before sells. But this area is very, very, very massive, and that's why for me it's great to look for sells. And again, this is basically the game of the risk reward. You can be wrong once, twice, thrice. Once you catch the move on a correct setup, don't just blindly attack a level. Not gonna work. But when you catch that and the move happens, you cover everything. That's the beauty of extreme levels, which you have to pay attention to. Cadian also dancing on some good zones, and we had one false break. We need second, so this is the first. We need one here. Once we get it, you can mark this trend line, and with the break of the trend line, sell retraces. As per levels, CAD-yen has a monster here. Okay, it's blocked here, and actually, well, that's a really, really powerful one. So every false break of this area, is powerful, and if it gets to 90, it's even better. 25th, okay, the coming days, or if it doesn't happen, we're going all the way to the beginning of next month, all the way. So that's how important it is to pay attention to that days and these levels. So if things happen by 25th, 26th, we get another false break, get ready for a top. If not, expect the rally. 1991, that's the levels for the longer run. Let's continue. What else we have here on my list? No. Okay, New Zealandian yen. Two scenarios. Scenario number one more rally towards the 18.5. Do that, and from there a crash, or we are holding the range. Okay, one more rally with a false break, and then a breakout, and we can look for sells. So, for example, okay, I would prefer, to be honest, the first scenario where it rallies towards the 84, 50, 85. That's a monster level there, so you know, market does not care of what Vlad wants. I could wish for the levels, of course, but normally doesn't help. So if we reach these areas, 84, 50, 85, you know what to do. False breaks, momentum will change, which means lower lows, or at least trend line breakout, and sell. Look for sales, yeah? Don't blindly sell, of course. Euro Kiwi, I don't have any update. Everything remains on there. No changes there, actually. Silver and gold, also no changes. Every drop down is a buy. Now, take a look on the silver. We got triple cycle. 1, 2, 3. If we can get this double cycle down, here the correction, that would be the place for us to start looking for buys again. And same with the gold, who fly here, but now has this 1, 2, 3 for us, 2 waves down, and buy again. Okay, so that's basically all we have on the Forex market. S&P, no false breaks yet, so no trading of this one yet. There is one actually interesting scenario happening here. Let me try to cover. It's still pretty far. Nah, not ready. As for now, we'll leave it alone. That's what I will update during the weekdays, sorry, with the daily forecast. So make sure to watch. If there will be setups, we're gonna cover that. No, they all not ready yet, so no. Simply avoid that. Nothing interesting to trade. Let me make sure I didn't miss nothing. I think I had one more interesting scenario here. What was that? Where is that? How much have I missed? I covered. No. S&P just not. No. That's all. Once again, I want to remind you here, guys. It's summertime, first of all, which means a lot of traders are on vacations. The volume is sudden. It could be one day, wow, what a volatility out of nowhere, and the other few days doing nothing. So patience is very required here, and a lot of pairs are reaching the levels, but they are not making setups, and that's why you can see these zigzags, by the way. And these kind of zigzags, that's exactly why the majority of traders simply lose their patience, because they try and they try and they try again, and then they like, that's all, giving up. And that's a very bad idea, because this is exactly when the move will happen, at the moment when everyone gives up, right? Like, just imagine, you enter a trade, you lose 20 pips, you enter a trade, you lose 20 pips, you enter again 20 pips, and you say, no, come on, not really, I just leave it alone. So you left your money to the market. Now it's time of the real bears to come and to hit that and collect your money. So to avoid that, use your patience and get the right setups. And the right setups at the end of cycles is always false break followed by convergence, or at least let the first move down to be by triple cycle itself. So 1, 2, 3, correction into waves, and then you can look for a trade. That's the right way to use the timing. For those of you who just want to invest, also get your first setup and go for investments. Dollar CAD could be one of the good ones to consider on the levels we discussed before, and New Zealand dollar as well. So that's all, guys. That's what I have for this week. Some really good setups forming, and I can't have enough patience to wait for that to happen, but we have to. If we trade without the patience and just pressing the button, it's simply not gonna work. So remember, that's how market splits: the professionals, those who win, and those who give up very fast and stay with nothing. So thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. And this is the first time I make this connection with you guys, so I cannot see you, but you can see me while I'm working and making the video, going over my list right here. So thank you for your time, and I hope you like that. If you did, please leave your feedback. It always helps, of course. It gives a great motivation to keep making these good things for you. And that's all. Those of you who are members in the club will get the daily updates of our setups, of course, and new setups that the market is creating. So stay safe and trade safe, and I'll see you soon. Thank you. Bye bye. Good week.